Spellbreak might be a battle royale, but it still has the familiar character classes that are present in almost all RPGs. Like most other aspects of the game, this mechanic has gone through some revisions to make sense in a battle royale. One of the special things about Spellbreak is the way they reinvent these standards for use in this type of game. With Spellbreak classes, the spirit of choosing a discipline has been kept, but has it been made casual enough to not stop battle royale gameplay from getting too dense? The Spellbreak character classes decide one of your gauntlets, and they give you special bonuses with each round you survive. Rather than being tied to progression through one character class, you get to pick which class you play as many times as you'd like in Spellbreak. At the beginning of each game, players can choose their character class for the duration of the game. You can use a different class in each game if you'd like. However, given that you can get special bonuses and a specific gauntlet with your character class, it's better to keep one as the main class. With each of the Spellbreak character classes, you get an exclusive ability in-game. These are catered to the gauntlet that comes with your class. You spawn with a common gauntlet of the type suited to your class. Every time you reach a new circle, you get an additional skill. This makes you more useful with your gauntlet and powers you up for the rest of the game. This Spellbreak character class guide covers what you need to know about each of the classes, their abilities, and what they do. Spellbreak character class guide. These are each of the Spellbreak classes and what bonus they give to players in-game. The first level is unlocked from the beginning like your common gauntlet. The next comes from reaching the next circle, and so forth. This helps to power you up as you progress through the game. Let's talk about each of the current Spellbreak character classes. Frostborn, Conduit, Pyromancer, Toxicologist, Stone Shaper, Tempest. This guide covers each in more detail, including their abilities and effects. Frostborn. Frostborn is the Spellbreak class that comes with the Frost Gauntlet. This one is obviously ice-based. The Ice Gauntlet can be quite tricky to master. The abilities you get here help you to make more precise and damaging shots with the Ice Lance, but also add some immunity and other effects. You can begin to use Ice Trails as a mobility option once upgraded. These are the skills. Starter skill. Your Ice Lance attack leave an ice trail. You also move 150% faster on ice trails. Level 2. You get to hover in mid-air for 5 seconds while you're aiming your Ice Lance, and you get outlines of targets while aiming. Level 3. You're immune to damage while casting Flash Freeze. Doing so also removes corrosion and any slowing effect. Your Flash Freeze lasts twice as long as previously. Level 4. This level adds an overcharge for half a second onto the Ice Lance, that gives an extra 35% damage. The Frostborn class locks you out of ice trails until level 2, which is kind of a hassle. However, if you're trying to use the sharpshooter ice attacks, then you really can't do without these abilities. The Ice Lance is designed around access to these, so it isn't as much use as a secondary gauntlet. Conduit. Conduit is the lightning class in the game, so it comes with a lightning gauntlet. This one is a little simpler to use, and it helps you to do things faster. This is to tie the lightning gauntlets into puns around doing things lightning fast. It still provides some decent utility to a conduit player, and it helps that this one is giving you a benefit outside of the gauntlets. These are the abilities. Starter skill. Your lightning bolt does an extra point on damage each time you cast it in a row. This can stack up to 5. Level 2. Your lightning strike now adds 1 charge to your rune. This doesn't work more than once, but it's a cool cooldown skip device. Level 3. Lightning strikes now have their mana cast removed. Level 4. You can now fire off strikes at intervals of only 0.6 seconds. The end result of all of these abilities is allowing you to fire off lightning quick, without pausing, and with a rune charge for a quick escape if you need one. At the end of the game, you're left with a powerful lightning gauntlet for fast flurry attacks, with a free panic button in your rune to escape. This one can be a lot of fun, although it isn't as useful in early rounds as some of the others. Pyromancer. The Pyromancer class is the Spellbreak character class that gives you access to the fire gauntlets. This one really boosts your damage, but it has a specific utility beyond that. It is helpful for you to control areas and box in or out other players. These are the abilities that you'll get with the Spellbreak character class Pyromancer. Starter skill. Fireballs will ignite targets for 2 seconds when they hit. Their explosion radius also increases by 200%. Level 2. You become immune to your own flame walls and those of your squad. When you enter a friendly flame wall, you take flight for 2 seconds. Level 3. Your flame wall does double damage for 2 seconds. Level 4. When your fireballs hit, they break into 4 smaller fireballs. Each of these deals 5 or 10 damage depending on how far they travel. These classes make your fire gauntlet more effective. However, the zoning capabilities when you have immunity to flame walls are pretty big. This is a good way to box other players in or out, so the flight that comes with entering your own lets you take down other players while zoning them out. Pyromancer is a simpler class to use, but you can do some good things with a coordinated team. Toxicologist. Toxicologist is a popular class and one that gives you access to a common toxic gauntlet. It is great at helping you deal more damage over time and stay undetected. This style of play is something quite different, and this is a pretty great specialist class compared to some of the others. These are the abilities that you get access to. Starter skill. Toxic spray attacks leave a toxic puddle on the ground. If you hit an enemy, then the puddle still spawns where they are standing. Level 2. You're immune to your toxic clouds and those of your teams. You dash when you enter a toxic cloud and become invisible. Level 3. When you're invisible you do extra toxic spray damage. An extra 75%. Level 4. Your toxic clouds spawn 2 extra clouds. This set of abilities is going to give you more damage and utility to do long-term damage with your toxic shots. The invisibility is a fun bonus too. This one is rarely used to full effect, but you should be taking advantage of it as much as possible. Astonishing. Astonishing is the class for the stone gauntlet. As well as helping out that gauntlet, you can use abilities to give you extra defense. This is a class that doesn't take as much skill to master. The extra defense and everything are going to help you out over time. With hard-hitting stone attacks too, you can use it to play like a tank character for your team. These are the abilities. Starter skill. Your max armor increases by 20. You also get 5 armor restored if you cast Shockwave with less than 20 armor. Level 2. Crash to the ground when you cast Shockwave. Level 3. Your boulder fall attack is going to increase in size as it flies. This gives you a specific utility to your attack. It makes a brute force attack into something that requires decent accuracy. Avalanche. You get an extra charge for boulder fall. This is really useful in the late game. The abilities here add a whole new set of skills to using the stone gauntlet in the late game. If you have access to these abilities, you can get a lot more value out of the stone gauntlets. The trade-off is that you don't have this for the first few rounds, so you can't rely on the better form of boulder fall. The armor boosting properties are helpful for the first few rounds, but potions are hardly in short supply. Tempest. Tempest is the class to go with the wind gauntlets. This one is focused on flying and mobility. A few of these used to be part of the gauntlet itself. Now, they're separated out. This one is a pretty specific high mobility playstyle. If that's something you can manage, then this might be a good class for you. These are the abilities. Starter skill. When you hit the ground with a wind shear, you wind jump. Jumping also increases your mana recharge delay to 1.25 seconds. Level 2. You become immune to tornado pulls of your own and your team's, but get to launch in the air when entering them. Level 3. When you're in the air, you deal 20% more damage and have a reduction in damage taken by 10%. Level 4. You get a cooldown on your secondary attack's cooldown speed by 100%. The mobility and the jumping portion of these abilities are useful for utilities and moving around. However, you will need to figure out how to use this with runes. The mobility boosting runes can extend this even further. Which Spellbreak character class should you use? Deciding which Spellbreak class to use isn't as complicated as it used to be. Now that they're tied to the gauntlet that you land with, you have one fairly easy way of picking. The character class that guarantees your preferred gauntlet is a good choice, since it makes it pretty simple to always have the weapon you're most proficient with accessible. On top of this, you get abilities that power up that specific gauntlet. If you're looking to build the rest of your loadout around that main choice of weapon, then our other Spellbreak guides can help you get everything optimized. Thank you for watching. Check out other interesting gaming topics on our channel. If you didn't subscribe to our channel yet, please subscribe for more updates. Don't miss any updates as we do all the research and updating for you. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And let us know which video you want to see next. We always appreciate your suggestions. Until next time, see you soon.